thank you for coming over.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about you and your fantastic band. Now, what's funny is that we've actually known each other for a little over a year now.
Yeah, it's been a while now, hasn't it?
And then we met on Craigslist because you posted an ad at the time. Actually, you were our stunt driver in my previous short film called
That's
I Want to
right.
Be Chased.
That was fun.
So you do like a little appearance in the video because my actor was too scared to drive your beautiful car. Can you tell us a little bit more about your band? Like, what's the name of it, and if you guys do covers or if you also have your own songs?
Well, we're called the Incredible Heavies, and we do some covers. And we started off doing almost only covers, and then we started writing our own songs, and now we're working on our second album of all original songs. So now we pretty much, from this point forward, we kind of stopped learning new covers, and now we're just working on writing new stuff.
I love all of the songs, but I also love like how you pick like certain names. Like there is some kind of humor in the names that you pick for your songs. So can you tell me about Men in the Gray Suit? It's one of your songs from your first album.
Yeah, Men in the Gray Suits. It's the last song on the first record, and it's an expression surfers use when they're talking about sharks.
Okay.
Called sharks and Men in the Gray Suits. So when we were doing that, we had the name before we had most of the music. We just had the bass riff, and we knew we wanted to make it sound like sort of sharks swirling around you, so we wanted to have this sinister kind of thing going on. So that's one example where the title sort of dictated the vibe of the song.
Can you tell us a little bit about surf music, which is the type of music you do with your band, the Incredible Heavies?
Yeah, the Incredible Heavies. Yeah, surf music is it's basically instrumental rock and roll that started in Southern California back in the early 60s, and it's called surf music because it was popularized by Dick Dale. He was probably the biggest artist that kind of started it, and he was a professional surfer and a guitar player, and he had a band, and they played all the time in Newport Beach.
Wow.
Like a regular gig, and the kids started hanging out, the surfers started hanging out, and it was just sort of like a scene.
Tell me a little bit about how you fell into this whole vintage style. Like you live it, like we've been to your place before, you have a lot of cool vintage stuff from your grandma.
Yeah, a lot of old stuff.
It's beautiful. Like what attracts you so much to this past era?
That's an interesting question. I guess I've always just sort of been attracted to the aesthetics of it. If it's clothing or architecture or music or film, there's just something about the way things were made that just had a certain style. It wasn't all about just efficiency. Like old cars, they had a style. They had curves and they had fins, and it was more than just. And everything now is just a silver pod. But I guess when I was growing up, I was looking around the stuff that I saw, and you'd drive through old parts of LA and you'd see all these cool old buildings and stuff, and that was the stuff that always spoke to me more.
Okay.
So I guess I've always been attracted to those things, and I've always been attracted to things that there's something about today that everything's so disposable. There's something really cool about things that were meant to last, that were built to last and not be so disposable. Like this bridge we're standing on, this was built, I don't even know when this was built, but this was in the movie Touch of Evil, which was 1958, and it's obviously older than that movie, and it's still here, and everything around this has changed, and nothing is at all like it was when Orson Welles made that movie, but the bridge is still here, and I just think that's really cool, and I think it's a really special, awesome place, and I think we need to cherish those things.
How do you combine, being someone who loves, the 50s or the 60s, the past eras, and living in 2013?
Oh, well, I mean,
it's like
I try to find a harmony with it, and it's actually pretty simple because I love living today, in the moment. I wouldn't want to go live in the 50s, as much as the fashion and the music and all that stuff is so appealing to me, and the aesthetic is appealing, and it seemed like a really happy time for a lot of people. I wouldn't want to live anywhere except where I am.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thanks, Jenny. It was a real pleasure. guess I wouldn't want to live anywhere except where I am, and in the moment, and that's just, I think, the better way to live, because otherwise you're always wanting something.
And cat.
From the very beginning, or just keep going?
No, just keep going. That's fine.
Kind of rambling.
Rolling?
Rolling, yeah.
A second.
Well, you were just like saying you're living in harmony between the two times, and you wouldn't like to live in the 50s, you know, like
Should wait for that.
you still embrace, you know, right now, and you like living in the moment. That's what you were saying.
All right. Yeah, I'll say that.
You say what you think.
Squeaky wheels.
I know. It's just like for real.